On May 29, 1919, American servicemen who had recently returned from Europe paraded down the streets of Atlantic City. Nearly 100,000 citizens cheered wildly as the veterans marched down a 2-mile stretch of Atlantic Avenue. Among the marching soldiers was Sergeant Edward R. Cooke of the 112th New Jersey Heavy Field Artillery, a unit of the New Jersey National Guard. Cooke was a third-generation serviceman, whose father, George S. Cooke, had been a Marine on the Pacific Ocean in the 1880s and 90s, and whose grandfather, Horatio D. Yeager, had served in the Union Army during the Civil War and was wounded by 2 Confederate bullets at Gettysburg on July 1, 1863. Standing 5 feet 10.5 inches tall, with gray eyes, brown hair, and a light complexion, Edward Cooke was a 25-year-old machinist when he enlisted in the service. Within 2 weeks of joining, he was promoted to corporal and then sergeant. Cooke entered the service at Camden, New Jersey on July 25, 1917, and spent the next 11 months training in Alabama and New York. His unit sailed for Europe on June 28, 1918, and arrived at Liverpool on July 10th. By July 12th, the 1,750 men of his unit were in France, where they would spend the next 9 months without seeing any combat. Throughout this period, Cooke sent several dozen postcards to his parents and grandmother, showing them the sights he saw in France. Finally, on May 13, 1919, Cooke and 1,200 of his comrades sailed for home. The men of the 112th New Jersey Heavy Field Artillery arrived at Newport News, Virginia on May 21st. Today, the site is marked by a majestic victory arch and eternal flame. Cooke sent a brief telegram to his parents. "Dear Mother and Dad, arrived last night. North soon. Love, Edward." A week later, his unit marched through Atlantic City. Recognizing the commercial opportunity, one local photographer set up his equipment on Atlantic Avenue to capture the soldiers as they marched by. In one image, he photographed a line of troops. In the foreground stand 3 figures. Moments later, the photographer captured a second scene. In this one, a soldier has broken ranks and run to embrace the 3 figures in the foreground. That soldier was Edward Cooke. Somehow he had seen his parents and sister standing there. His comrades turned their heads in wonder as they continued to march. Edward and his family did not know that their heartwarming reunion had been captured on camera. Only later in the day, when they were walking around the boardwalk, did they see the before and after photographs for sale in the photographer's window. They purchased several copies to keep as souvenirs.